You may think that your marriage is dependent upon sex, and in some cases it could be, and it may not be a bad thing, it may not be a good thing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you things about sex within your marriage that you just didn't realize. Now, you knew it's scientific, but you don't incorporate it into your life. And by learning what I'm going to show you, it's going to change your marriage forever for the good. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm founder of the Marriage Foundation. I've been helping couples since 2001. We know how to transform your marriage. This is just a tiny little slice. Believe it or not, sex is a tiny little slice of your marriage. So let's begin with what sex is. And I'm talking now about biological. In other words, physiological, because sex also moves into the emotional, the psychological, and it also moves into the spiritual. And when we learn how to merge it, it changes everything. So, sex. Why did God create sex? What's it for? It's not just for human beings, obviously. We see sex in every species on the planet. Without sex, there is no procreation. Without procreation, there's no continuation of a species. We know that, right? So biologically speaking, sex is there very importantly to make sure there's a continuation of the species. Doesn't matter whether it's a praying mantis and after sex she eats her mate. It doesn't matter whether it's whales. Very interesting YouTube videos on that. It doesn't matter. Sex is there. We're human beings. We're not the same. Emotionally, we're highly impacted by what goes on in our sexual lives because there's kind of a conflict. You see, the sex drive is just as in the front of our lives as it is in the animal kingdom. The male, when he is having sex, he's having sex because he's being compelled to, not by love. And this is where it breaks down. Pay attention to this, guys. You want to have sex with your wife because you want to have sex. You want to have sex because your body is telling you you got to have sex. And your body is telling you, don't matter where it comes from. So what happens to most husbands, and ladies, you need to pay attention to this too. What happens is it's become sex because we're not taught. It's become this other part of our lives. In fact, there's people who are ashamed when they have sex. There's people who are hoping God isn't watching while they're having sex. They don't realize God created sex and it's purposeful. Now, it's purposeful physiologically to push the species. But when you have enough kids, you still want to have it. So what's going on? Well, the instinct is stupid. The instinct is just there to make sure you're going to have sex. So what do? This is the good news. As human beings, we are in charge. We are in charge of what we think, what we say, and even what we feel. And so this is where we have to step in and use that free will of ours to convert that instinct into intimacy. We have the ability to change it. How do you do that? That's the question, right? Well, first, let me make sure you're convinced that we need to do that. Well, sure you do. We all know that when we are having sex with our husband or with our wife, we feel a connection. But we don't connect the dots. The only dots we're connecting is that when we're having sex, we feel closer. Now, here's what you do. While you're preparing to have sex, and all of us prepare in one form or another, Start opening your heart. People are not taught this, and yet this is so important. You know, I teach all this stuff in my books, Breaking the Cycle and Lessons for a Happy Marriage, and more importantly and more thoroughly in the online courses. And there's an online course for women who approach sex completely differently than men, and one for men. Online courses are amazing. It's a 12-week program. It just really sets you up for success. So when you're preparing to have sex with your soulmate, remember that your body is going to take care of itself in terms of wanting to have that connection. Some of us think, oh no, I've got to psych myself up. I've got to psych them up. No, you don't. Your body will take care of itself. But what you need to do is you need to learn how to cultivate that love. And so use that sexual time to open your heart. Practice it now. Open your heart. You have a billion zillion thoughts going through your mind, but this is where it becomes spiritual. We set aside those thoughts. In fact, I have techniques that I teach you to do that, but you set aside those thoughts. You set aside those fears. You set aside the uncertainties, and you focus only on one thing, opening your heart. And you say, my soulmate, my husband, my wife, I'm going to open my heart to you. When you do that, you don't have to take my word for it. When you do that, you will feel a rush of love that's flowing, and you're not going to realize it's flowing through you to them. Doesn't depend on them to love you. It depends on you to love them. So how do you change that sex dirtiness in your mind, which it's incorrect? Look, when you're married, sex is totally approved. You are allowed to have, you could have sex 4 times a day. You could have sex 4 times a month. You could have sex less than that. Please don't make it too little, because it's a great time to connect. Now, I know there's going to be comments that are going to say, my wife won't let me have sex with her anymore. My husband just doesn't get turned on by me anymore. I can't cover that in this video, but trust me, that is something you can deal with. I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. I sure hope you liked the video and let us know. And if you want to leave a comment, so many people nowadays, they'll write in the comment section a problem that they're having in their marriage, and I'll help them. The alternative to that is to write in, go to our website. We have an Ask a Counselor feature that is free. You could do that. We're here for you. God bless you, and take care. Hi, I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. Been saving marriages since 2001. Now, what can we say about not giving up and not settling? These are 2 big deals that for your marriage, these are vital concepts. And they boil down to 2 things that we offer you. One are the books that we have. I have Lessons for a Happy Marriage, which is the first book that I wrote, and Breaking the Cycle. They're both great. Flip a coin as to which one you want. That's for not settling. Those books lay out for you exactly what marriage is all about. The guidelines, the intricacies, delves into communication, all the things about marriage that you need to know. And if your marriage is doing fine, but you just have this little problem here, this little problem there, but it's basically doing fine, don't settle. I promise you this, when you read one of these books, you're going to learn more about marriage than you even knew you didn't know, and it's going to change everything for the better. You will be so grateful that you took my advice and got one of those books. Now, the don't give up, When I began, I was structuring, compiling all the marriage help that people need in order to save their marriage. I was a divorce mediator until 2001, and so I was fortunate that I was accessing a support group for those who were going to get a divorce called Second Saturday in San Diego, California. And so I was able to pull out of those sessions individuals, after I told them that I could help them save their marriage, who were beyond on the verge of getting a divorce. I'm going to say 95 to 98% of the people for whom I got a divorce shouldn't have, didn't need to, had they known what I now know. I took all of that knowledge and I put it into comprehensive courses, one for men and one for women. These courses, your course based on your gender, will bring you from the depth of the swamp that you find yourself in, out of that, into the light, and help you achieve a marriage you never even dreamed possible. That's a promise. Now, what if you're not even married? What if you're going to get married and you're just looking around for marriage advice? In that case, and I actually created this for some friends, we have a premarital course, which is amazing. You'll never have a problem in your marriage. Well, like nobody ever has a problem, but you won't have any killer problems. You'll know how to be married to get the most out of your marriage. What if you're only dating? Then I have a course for you too. This one I actually created for my son, and it is a step-by-step process for you to attract your soulmate, and in the right way. I'm so glad that you found us. Please take advantage of that which we have to offer. We are here to serve you. I'm Paul Friedman. God bless you, and take care.